Good morning, Bitcoin world. My name is Aiden Gillespie, and today we will be discussing the feud between strategy and Metaplanet. Without further ado, let's dive straight into it. So, what is the argument going around? Right now, many people are claiming that strategy has virtually an uncapped upside because there is an unforeseeable future. Therefore, they virtually have an uncapped upside. And they also like to make the argument that Metaplanet's risk is higher because it's newer. So, today we're going to be discussing what is better, strategy or Metaplanet. So first and foremost, I think we should just stop the fighting. Both of us are on the same team, and we both think that Bitcoin is just better than fiat, and both will likely have a phenomenal performance. So if you hold strategy, you're likely going to be doing just fine. If you hold Metaplanet, you'll likely be doing just fine. There may be reasons to hold there may be different reasons to hold strategy versus Metaplanet, but either or, I think you'll be doing just fine if you hold strategy or Metaplanet here. So, some misinformation to address. One of the claims that I have been seeing going around is that strategy has virtually an uncapped upside, and this stems from the belief that MNAV has virtually unlimited expansion because we can't see into the future. However, there is a problem with this because we can see into the future. There will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin, and so MNAV is only going to compress as a company grows their Bitcoin holdings. It's not going to really expand as they accumulate more and more Bitcoin. So, for example, I've seen the claim that strategy will be trading at $100,000 per share by the time Bitcoin hits $1 million in 8 years. And this is pretty much impossible. I've seen other people already dispute this model that's been going around, but I want to kind of work through the math to show you why this is impossible. So, if strategy was trading at $100,000 per share, and they're currently trading at $400 per share, that comes out to a 250x in share price. They have to 250x their share price. So if Bitcoin 10x's to from 108,000 to we'll just call it a million, 10x's to a million, where is that additional 25x multiple coming from? So either strategy would need to 25x their Bitcoin holdings from their 600,000 Bitcoin to 15 million Bitcoin, and slash or the market needs to expand their MNAV, which is going to be impossible to do as you're acquiring more Bitcoin, because that just means that the market is expecting you to multiply your Bitcoin even more. I'll kind of explain more into that, why that's virtually impossible. So, say strategy does 25x their Bitcoin holdings and they hold 15 million Bitcoin. They still need to be valued at their current MNAV of 1.9 to make that previous model where strategy hits $100,000 per share accurate. And an MNAV of 1.9, if they 25x their Bitcoin holdings, would bring their market cap to 28.5 million Bitcoin. It has to be worth 28.5 million Bitcoin when Bitcoin's at $1 million. There's only 21 million Bitcoin. That's impossible. Even if they don't 25x their Bitcoin holdings and the MNAV just expands, the market cap still has to be worth that 28.5 million Bitcoin at 1 million at that price of 1 million per Bitcoin. And realistically, the market's not gonna believe that strategy can acquire 28.5 million Bitcoin because that is literally impossible. So that model that's been going around is very, very unrealistic and pretty much impossible to ever happen. Another concept that's been going around is that Metaplanet is risky because it is new. And I'll say that this is a fair argument if you feel more comfortable investing in something that's been around for a while. That's very fair. Metaplanet has not yet proven they can withstand a prolonged bear market. However, I would say their strategy is, in my opinion, even a little bit safer than strategies Strategy. Strategy has 50 times more debt than Metaplanet with only 38 times more Bitcoin. So if you look at the debt per Bitcoin, Metaplanet's actually doing a little bit better than Strategy is in that regards. And Metaplanet's also very transparent and they have very safe dilution standards, trying not to dilute shareholders too hard. Yeah, Metaplanet's taking lots of precautions just to make sure that they're accumulating Bitcoin in a safe manner. So I really don't think Metaplanet is all that risky. But if you do want to see a longer track record in a company, I say that's very fair. In that case, you can invest in strategy, and I think you'll be doing just fine. However, Metaplanet will have more potential upside than strategy because it is smaller and has the potential to multiply their Bitcoin holdings more than strategy does because they don't have as much Bitcoin. So newer companies, like I mentioned before, just have that greater potential because multiplying your Bitcoin results in the greatest returns. It's going to be a lot easier to double your Bitcoin holdings from 10,000 to 20,000 compared to going from 500,000 to a million Bitcoin. And eventually, as you grow larger and larger, it's going to be virtually impossible to double your Bitcoin holdings once your Bitcoin holdings reach a certain point. So in that case, newer Bitcoin treasuries have the advantage, and that puts Metaplanet at the advantage there. So who's going to win? At the end of the day, it's going to be both Metaplanet and strategy. Both can execute. Both are rapidly accumulating more of the greatest asset in existence. And at the end of the day, both will win. There's some reasons that you might think strategy is better, some reasons you think Metaplan is better. Strategy has the longer track record. If you like that, if you want to feel a little bit safer with your investment because of that track record, then you can just invest in strategy. There's nothing wrong with that. I do think that Metaplanet's still pretty safe, just how they're accumulating their Bitcoin. So I'm not too concerned about their track record. Plus, I think they do have a pretty good track record. They've been doing this for about 14 months. And then they also have more potential upside just because they're smaller and they have that greater potential to be able to multiply their Bitcoin greater than strategy would be able to. So at the end of the day, I think we should just stop the arguing. Both Metaplanet and Strategy are great, phenomenal stocks. There can be reasons to invest in both of them. And I think both people who hold Strategy will be very happy. Both people who hold Metaplanet will also be very happy. So at the end of the day, both, in my opinion, will likely win here. That's all I have for you. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video and like the content I've been putting out, please consider liking and subscribing if you do enjoy these videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.